I want to ask you a question, and I just want a very simple answer. Do you think patriarchy is a burden on guys? Like, as a guy, do you think patriarchy is a burden on you? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. It is.
Joe?
For me personally, I would say no. I've not felt any pressure.
Are you sure?
Yes, probably because of
Okay.
maybe we'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Okay, so welcome to a new episode of the Becoming You Pod, where we talk about the complexities of adulting. And this episode is going to be very, very interesting because I'm not here alone. We're talking about patriarchy, and I'm trying to find out and discover if it's actually a burden on guys. And I mean, who are the best people for me to have this conversation with? Like guys that have been made to carry this burden, in my opinion. I have like two amazing people here with me. I have Joel and I have Olumide. Hey fam, you're listening to Becoming You, the podcast for adults figuring it out. Now let's get into it. I'm an adult. What am I supposed to do? So how are you doing? How was last week? Joe, you can go first.
Oh, that's true. Man, a new week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new week.
Last week, what did I do last week? Starting from yesterday, yeah, my team won. So yeah, and my hit watch wasn't complete.
Yeah.
It was half baked. It was 2-2. It was half
Which
baked.
team is your
Uh,
Which team is your team?
Chelsea. So we won. So man, you
uh,
drew 2-2. I was hoping they would
Over
lose.
here. We don't like Chelsea over here.
I was having the time of my life last week. Hope you know.
Guy, last week was nah
Then I was
nah.
second. I was second on the
That
table
last
for
week
a few
was
moments.
it
Have you ever
was
been
it
second
was
this season?
dreadful.
I
Joe,
don't think
Olu
so.
wanted to use motivation as opposed to.
Not dreadful for you,
He said, "This life, don't give up on anything." Did man you
bro.
yesterday?
Last
They
week
drew
was too
yesterday. They
sweet.
drew. Almost
Mwah.
lost and almost won too.
Uh,
They are making people.
What's up?
They are making Man U fans will be proud at this moment because Man U has been a shitty.
We have see, we are not trying to be humble for now. Just let us win like three more games. United will reel us out. Currently, let us stay humble.
Okay, so Joel is excited. Okay, so that's an exciting thing that happened anyway. Olu, how are you? Hope you are good.
Yeah, I'm good. Oh, how am I really? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm doing good.
It's too much
I think
happening.
this week, last week was a bit stressful for me. Yeah, so
Mm.
like I was on the road for most part of the week. I had to like travel like cumulatively. I think about 16 hours on
As in,
the road. You know what that means? Like
like road trip, sightseeing,
as what?
road trip, sightseeing.
Not road trip, traveled. Like I moved from Lagos. I traveled from Lagos to Anambra, and I went on it. I went to Oka, I went to Onitsha, I went to Oka. You know, like that type of back and forth.
Hmm?
So it was, bro, my knee, they cry. But then it's an essential journey, I guess. I don't know. Let me put myself for the issue. Anyways, it was a nice week, and yeah, it's ending off well. Then hopefully I'll be able to return this week. I was thinking I'll wait for a month before, but
That's my guy.
You will. You're traveling
Put
back this week.
yourself first. Put yourself first.
Produ- productivity is zero here, guy.
Yeah, cool.
Zero.
Sorry.
Ah,
I'm not really
thank you, Dan.
guys. I'm sure my listeners are like, who are these people talking? Where did they get this Chelsea and Man U fan from? So, Jewel, can you briefly introduce yourself? Then, Olu, you would introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Joel Bafemi, and I'm a pharmacist. I'm a pharmacist by degree
Mm.
and not by practice because that's not what I do for a living. What I actually do for a living, I'm a blockchain data analyst. So I basically help
Hmm.
Web3 protocols or blockchain protocols to come up with dashboards and charts to help them interpret their user data, their revenue data, and whatnot, just to give them like insights into what they are doing, and then to be able to like help them make insightful decisions. That's what I do for a living, and I'm more on X.
Well, that sounds very technical and very interesting. So when you say dashboard, I did an interview a while ago as a project manager and they asked if I could create dashboards. So do you use Jira to create your dashboards or is it more technical than just using Jira to like bring up something?
So I think I know Jira for project management, uh, but
Yeah.
for dashboards in Web two, that's in traditional data analyst roles, we use people use more of Power BI, Microsoft Power Business Intelligence, and Tableau.
Okay, okay,
But
okay.
in Web three, they have their own data platform, primarily Dune. That's what people use most important. So Jira, I've only known Jira to be a project manager as tool for scheduling and
Yeah.
stuff.
So it's a rookie. Yeah, I asked a very rookie question because now I remember that Olu is actually learning data
Exactly.
analysis, and I know that he uses something else and not Jira. So yeah, I take that back, but then I've already
Yeah.
asked. Yeah. So Olu, what's up? Apart from being my person,
Hmm.
introduce yourself.
Okay. Serious fast. Wait, this is what I inputs that I have a stomach pain. Anyways. My name is
You
Olumide
have stomach pain.
Shomiola. Yeah,
Uh huh.
but I think we can brush over that. I'm a pharmacist by training. I was schooled. How many years, bro? We shall school for a lot of years in AU. And yes, I'm a pharmacist by license, and I'm currently using pharmacy, though out of compulsion. I won't explain further.
Mm,
I'm currently using pharmacy, but I don't earn a living from pharmacy. Do you get?
mm-hmm,
Anyway, then I work as a grants manager, help people get grants, majorly NGOs
mm-hmm.
and INGOs. So yeah, that's what I do, and I guess that's everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that works. That works. I don't know. I just kind of feel like now I should comport myself well because it feels like I'm sitting with big men, working with grants, helping people get money, get grants, Joel is monitoring dashboards and helping people make money. We're free. It just feels like you guys are in money. You guys come and teach me the way
Which one
out
of us which
of
one of
this.
us is in a third world country?
Explain,
We
no.
are all technically
Who don't
no no no
escape
no.
Tinubu from
Technically, we are
among all of
all
us? Who has escaped Tinubu? Is it not you?
technically, we are all in third world
Okay.
countries. Technically, I'm just in like a senior school third world country, like.
Which third one?
But the West is all of us like as third world people now. Brazil or Nigeria or with
No,
same boat,
economically
same.
speaking, like
Exactly.
they are not mates. They are not mates. Yeah.
I don't know.
GDP,
I
oh,
can't.
everything. They are not mates. You know,
I,
you know.
yeah,
Oh, that's the same as me.
I don't know anything. I don't know. I don't do anything at
You know,
all.
you like
But like,
complaining.
yeah, talking about making money. First, Olu, how's your stomach? I hope it's not something too serious. Before we
No,
go
no, it's
into, yeah,
no.
fine, yeah, good.
I'm patriarching it.
Okay, yeah.
You have to be a man. Yes, you can't like just keep the pain and be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about money, we all know like the struggle of making money. Making money is not easy. I mean, being an adult, I got my place recently and I moved in August. And one thing that has been on my mind ever since I moved in is like, am I able to sustain this lifestyle? It feels like the bills keep coming in. There are just a lot of things I need to take care of financially. And I've just been wondering, like, sometimes I think about it that it would be so nice to have a man paying all these bills
Hmm.
for me. Maybe I don't need to like pay all these bills. I just have
These are
somebody
the
taking care
issues.
of all my
These are the
bills.
issues.
It seems like the easy way out. And I just want to ask you guys that are guys that have to do the same, like face the same struggle we are facing to get money. How do you feel like being the one like in charge of somebody else's finances, like taking care of somebody financially? How do you feel like being billed by somebody else? And how do you like does it give you joy to just be giving somebody else your money? I want to know so that I should know how I can move forward with my approach. Maybe I should just keep collecting money from Olu.
You know,
you know, you guys
first things first. I
the,
don't mind being built either. I'm not Bob the Builder. I mean, so I don't mind being on the receiving end. I think recently I was listening to um conversation between Ebuka and some other guys now on men mentality. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I saw it.
yeah, I know. It was talking about how do you feel maybe when you're not when maybe when you're out of job or maybe
When your wife is
oh yeah,
earning
exactly.
more than
And
you.
Shenkuti was like, is he doesn't mind being on the receiving end, and I think it applies to. I mean, my brother would jokingly say, I don't mind being a full time house husband. Just put me at home and I'll
Yeah.
cook, I'll clean, and you bring the money. So I think I don't mind being on the receiving end. Sincerely, I think and that these are just issues because people see men as providers, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
we're not just meant to be providers. I think we're just meant to provide support in that sense. I think there was this also conversation that I was listening to, and the lady was like, I love a man that provides and speed. That's the guy. He was like, no, he's not a provider. That God is the ultimate provider. That he just he doesn't want to take God's role. So I think men are obviously men are seen to be providers, but I for one I won't put myself in a position where I'll be the sole provider to my family because God forbid something happens and your children are left hanging because you've always been that sole provider. So I don't think I'll put myself in that situation where I'll be the sole provider. It will have to be a joint effort between myself and my partner in that sense.
Just explains it that you do not enjoy
Exactly.
being like the provider, the sole provider, and you do not mind being provided for. So Olu, what do you think about this too?
I
What's
don't
your
know.
view on being like
It's quite simple. I mean, I don't think anybody actually enjoys being built rather. Like nobody enjoys like,
yeah.
oh my god, I have 500K to send to someone's school fees. I
Exactly.
have nobody enjoys it. Yeah. So what every man owes or what everybody actually hopes is that like they are financially buoyant enough to do all this stuff. But then patriarchy comes
Mm-hmm.
with I think it's probably like explain what patriarchy actually means. Because
We've
we've been
we've not
using the word a
explained it
lot. Yeah,
actually.
because using it a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
and
We're still
you get so it could come with this burden, yeah. That oh my god, like I have to be the one to do it. My wife can make any times 50 of what I'm doing now, but it is still my responsibility. Don't get it wrong, you have a responsibility to your family. You have a responsibility to your parents, to everybody. Do you get? But then the thing is that
hmm
it doesn't have to it doesn't have to be like waterfall approach that I do this, you do this. Like I mean, your relationship can be dynamic. You and your partner can have let's do it this way, let's do it that way. Do you get? It's not I have to carry it on my head and everything. Like fine, be responsible, but then just balance it.
you've not answered the question, but you are answering the
Yeah.
question. So do you
Okay.
enjoy being like build? Do you enjoy being
No,
that
I
person like
started my answer with nobody enjoy. By the nobody, I am part.
you?
I did not enjoy being built, obviously. Though some out of
Well,
like, responsibility, like, I have to do this, you can do it, do you get? For example, now, I don't
mhm.
enjoy paying house rent or I don't enjoy having to pay for the DSTV, but I have to, do you get? So, yeah.
Yeah, and I like when you touched on like the definition of patriarchy. I feel like we've been saying it and everybody hears it as a buzzword like patriarchy, patriarchy, patriarchy. So what is patriarchy? Like I think I'll define it as a system that establishes male dominance, and that means like the man is made to provide, protect, rule, be the head, be the champion, be everything. What's your take on like family? Is it do you I know we're all Christians here. So like when we're talking about the head of the home and the man being the head biblically, don't you think that is like the foundation of patriarchy in a way? And do you think if we're moving away from like men being the sole provider and like let's say we are all coming to terms with the fact that a woman should provide and we should all help ourselves like as helpmates, do you think like the role of a man of what a man should do in the society would have to change? Like so these are the questions basically.
So
Yeah.
yeah, the thing about patriarchy is that looking at it holistically, yeah, it doesn't just even end in what you just explained. Most of it comes with a an unfair advantage, yeah, and it comes with the subjugation of the female gender, yeah. So in it as you can look at it as a social construct. You can look at it from the family angle, maybe religion angle, like other bits.
Mhm.
Do you get? So most people used to argue for it, the people that argue for it were like, oh, like I mean, it's our tradition. Our forefather used to. This is how it is meant to be. Do you get? And some even argue about it that way, like it has brought structure to human society, blah, 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 blah. Do you get? But the thing, even traditionally, like I can argue that it was not meant, at least pre-colonial tradition, at least I'm Yoruba and I can speak partially for the Yoruba. It was not entirely patriarchal, like it was not too as rigid as it is post-colonial or during the colonial period. It wasn't like women had representation, women had representation in the government, like this, the Yoruba, they had
Mm-hmm. Yellow day.
Iyalode, Iyaloja, do you get
Mm-hmm.
and all those type of stuff. Even in religion after government is almost like religion, do you get like we have like them
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I think Orishabumi is Orishabumi a title.
There's Moremi. At least I know that
No,
one.
it's more maybe not a title, it's a person. But they have like all these
Oh, okay.
like
Oh,
Oshun,
title.
yeah, all these do you get they
Yeye
have
Osun.
Yeye Oshun and Mamalawo. I
Uh,
don't know Mamalawo. They
Timi
should have
Bola.
This is why I'm not
Yeah, we
Yoruba
had
because I can't
women.
relate to all the names they are calling.
Yeah, they have women that are priestesses. Joel, you're not
I'm not
Yoruba.
Yoruba.
don't start that discussion with you. Don't start it. He's from
It's
Ileke.
Obafemi.
He's 2 generations ago. They migrated from Ileke to Kogi and they have been denying Yoruba.
Oh, okay, he's from Kogi. Oh, okay, okay,
He's
okay.
Yoruba, I don't mind you. They migrated, like move. Like for me, I moved
Okay,
to
just from Kogi.
don't mind him. His mommy said he's Yoruba. I asked his mom.
Yeah, continue your yellow the whatever.
So
Mama Lawo.
yeah, even economically, like women control the market,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
women were farmers. Do you get?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a perfect system, it wasn't it's not patriarchal, but then it's not as bad as it got. Do you get? Then when Antonina came, they came with all
Mm-hmm.
this rigid form of patriarchy, like women literally had no advocacy or you don't have mouth in anything. Do you get? So they bought it,
Mm-hmm.
they now imputed it to the religion. Because if you read Bible holistically, it does not preach subjugation. I was reading this book by I took it from Joshua's book, this personal book.
The woman I know.
Uh, yeah, the one I know. Do you get like it does not preach it. The Bible does not preach that like one gender is above or below the other. Am I taking enough time?
No, that statement is just very controversial. Like the Bible does
It
not.
doesn't, and
Hmm.
It doesn't, yeah. I'm
support that
started.
later.
Thank God Joel is there.
Okay, so Joe, you can speak more on that.
Okay.
Yeah, Joel is the pastor.
Uh, okay. We're going to let's start from Book of Genesis, go to Book of Moses. Just how the Bible was basically split, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the Book of Genesis, you had um, obviously the foundation where God created man and woman. Then you now move to
Mm-hmm.
the books of Moses, right? And you see, because I think people pick this notion obviously from Paul's writing to the church in Corinth, where it says
Teachings.
maybe
Mm-hmm.
for one of them is let no woman speak, right? Let your woman not speak.
Mm-hmm.
And if Paul was actually saying that, then Paul was saying something against what the trend we've seen in scriptures, even in his own ministry. And I will get to that. Now, in
Mm-hmm.
scriptures, when if Paul actually said women should not speak in public, right, or in the church, someone like let's start
Mm-hmm.
with Miriam. Miriam was the first prophetess in that sense, and she spoke
Mm-hmm.
publicly. This popular song, "The horse and his riders have been thrown into sing unto the Lord," for he has triumphed.
Joel is indeed a pastor. I don't know that song.
You know the
You don't
song.
know Joel is the pastor.
You don't know the song, "Sing unto the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and his riders have been thrown into the sea." You don't know the song.
Oh, do you know the song?
Oh, look, you don't know the song, you too.
Why you have to involve me now? I've
No, if
already
you know the song, I
escaped.
know the song. So do you know the song?
You don't know the
No,
song.
Joel, I don't know the
Sing
song.
unto the Lord, for he has
I'll pass as
made.
if I
You
knew
don't
it.
know. Freaking hell. How do you guys not know that song? Anyway, so that was taking. verbatim from what Miriam said after they crossed the Red Sea. So she
Mm-hmm.
spoke publicly, right? Sure. Then we now move to subsequent books, still in the Old Testament. We had the
Mm-hmm.
likes of Deborah. She was a judge. You know, she judged over Israel. So she spoke publicly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's even now go to Paul's ministry. We had the likes of Priscilla. Priscilla, even when Paul was commending his fellow workers, he named Priscilla over the husband Aquila. That should that gives like a
Mm-hmm.
proposition of who was more vested, right, in the work of ministry.
Mm-hmm.
We had Phoebe. You know, even in the book of Acts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even when on the during the in Acts 2, prior to the Holy Ghost coming, we had record of women being there.
Yeah.
And even we were to
Joe, you're
I'm breaking. Can you hear me
breaking.
now?
You were breaking for a
Okay.
minute.
I thought it
Yeah,
was
you.
me. Oh.
We stopped at.
Okay.
No, we stopped at even in the book
Okay,
of
in the book of
Acts.
Acts,
Even in the book
yes,
of Acts.
prior to
Mm-hmm.
the day of Pentecost, right? There were records of women there. And even let's even go back to Jesus' resurrection. The people that got to see him
Mm-hmm.
first were women. And then thereafter went to preach the gospel of his
Mm-hmm.
resurrection. That's Mary to Peter and his other disciples. So and even in Jesus' ministry, right, you had women also. You had the likes of Mary Magdalene, you know, who demons were cast off, and
Mm-hmm.
other women, other notable women. And Philip's daughters were prophetess as well. So you have that
Mm-hmm.
trend. You know, obviously it's not dominant, it's not we didn't have it as much as we had men in leadership positions.
Man.
But my point is, the
Mm-hmm.
Bible doesn't or it didn't bring up that notion of patriarchy. I think people just read what they know patriarchy or what they know men in leadership position to be. They read into the Bible because the Bible never Paul never said so. So when people read, I'm very sure they brought on their own mindset of what they feel. The what was the word now when it comes to a man and a woman or leadership in that sense, what they think it should be, they read it into the Bible. So
Well, I think
that's
I
my
think.
stance on that. You see that progression even from Genesis up
Mm-hmm.
until the epistles, which is Paul's letters. So if Paul had said women should not speak and he had predominant women in his own ministry, which he himself recognized, then obviously that was not what Paul was saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take on that.
Okay, I like it's funny how unknowingly or
Yeah.
unplanned we had Olu talk about things from the traditional aspects, then we had you talk about things from the religious aspect
Oh,
too.
so I'm the Babalawo, abi.
More like African tradition, and it's just so nice, like having like the views, like our views from those like angles, and now we can establish that patriarchy. Sorry, patriarchy is not African. Patriarchy is not
Yeah.
biblical, like
In
in
quotes.
quotes. However, in the
Yeah.
Bible, we have different instances. Like this particular episode is not for us to dissect the
Yeah.
Bible. I just want to put it
Yeah.
out there
Mm-hmm.
that we have different instances in the Bible that women's submission to male authority is written about, like in the instances of like marriage, of like a woman should submit to the authority of her husband. A man is the head of the home, and there's a particular place in Genesis that I stumbled on this year when I was reading my Bible from like the beginning. That was after the fall of man, and when God was telling, like, when God was talking to Adam and Eve, and like the curse in quotes, and there was a part that was written there that, the woman from then on, like after it was written that the woman would give birth in pain and anguish and all of that, there's another part too of like the woman would be under the authority of the man, and like you have to ask for like permission from the man before you do things. I bookmarked that part in my Bible. So maybe I'm not saying it verbatim, but like that was what it meant. So all this is just to say, yes, we understand that patriarchy is not like our tradition, or religion does not necessarily establish it as a society or as an institution. But in the family, do you guys agree that patriarchy is being established based on like biblical instruction in the family setting?
Who should go first? Yeah,
Okay,
go.
let me just start. I feel it just puts a structure to it, right? It doesn't really command it, you know. You just put a structure to it, and there's flexibility. In my own opinion, there should be flexibility when it comes to especially when it's a family setting, right? And even when and it's not just when it comes to finances. When it's not just finances, I think it should be all around. And I know people bring up things like domestic roles, right? Or even when it comes to nursing a child, because that was also an area that I see people talk about. I just feel if you're actually family oriented and you actually love your partner and you guys, if you guys are partner in that sense, I don't think you'd see one as being dominant to the other, right? I think you guys, there's a reason why they call it partnership. You guys are partners in that sense. So that's my take on that. I feel it just gives it a structure that still has flexibility. That's what I would say. That's what I would say.
Okay, but it's not like a structure that is
It's not
imposed on
imposed on people.
people. Okay, well, let me hear your view or your take on this.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
curious. I want to know.
efficiency. If you don't know at this point, there, I don't know what you've been listening to. So I think that particular verse is one place that everybody used to jump into, like especially people when they want to defend it or like say something about it. Like the Bible says you should submit and everything, blah, blah, blah. Like the word submit is like almost always hammered on. And from my own point of view, I don't see that people don't see the word as a concrete type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I was having a discussion with Akes. He was saying like most like it's almost like you conquer something like I conquered you, so like you are under me, you are my slave. Do you get? So like Joel also said, it's just a structure to things. Do you get? I think in previous episode, Paul has addressed structure in the church.
Yeah.
Do you get? Second Corinthians, he addressed the church was so disorganized, like where everybody was just doing that stuff. So he addressed it. Oh, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Do you get? Even concerning marriages, I mean concerning marriage, oh, like if you don't want marry, no marry. If you want marry, no want do you get? Do you get? So for this, it's just a structure to things. It's not your wife is under you or like so. In my own church growing up, so people used to say like the women group and everything used to say, oh, the husband is the head, the wife is the neck. So it's where the neck turn the head to that the biggest. So, so it's just trying to
Okay,
say like,
so
oh,
technically it's the neck controlling the head.
it gets.
Mm,
So it's like
clock it,
stuff.
clock it, clock it.
So it's stuff like that, yeah. So I think I don't know, like when people talk about stuff like this, though, like it should I don't know, like it's a marriage, it's a partnership. Like why are you looking to
Yeah.
conquer your partner? Why are you looking to suffer your partner? Why are you looking to discomfort your partner? Do you get like I also like what I used to say, I'm very sure you get this a lot from me. Like every relationship is dynamic. Do you get do what works for you and your
Yeah.
relationship? You get oh this is what oh blah blah we prefer this is what works for us. Everybody handle your thing. Do you get it's not my wife has to like I know two of us are coming back from Lagos traffic 8 p.m. but I have to go and read the newspaper while you go to the kitchen and cook. You get that's suffering, that's being unkind. That's that's being self-centered and a lot of other bad word that can attach to it. I hope
Yeah, thank you
that
so
answers the
much for
question.
yes, you answered the question. Thank you so much for
And
your
can I
answer.
can I
You know, the
add
thing
one last
about
thing to that?
oh
That's it.
sure, sure, you
I feel
can.
if people are trying to make note of that from the Bible, right, or from Paul's letters, I think it's just if Paul says that just as Christ loved the church, I think that's where you should take your own mindset from or your own
Yeah, that's
ideology
how I
from.
see it as well. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's how I see it as well. But I just feel like people weaponize these things. Like we have a lot of men out there. Like I was having this conversation with a friend a while ago or a while back, and Olu is like, Olu knows about this conversation. And this person kept on telling me, I'm better than you. And I'm like, why are you better than me? He said, because he's a man and he's inherently like better than me. God has made him to have authority. He's not my partner is not I don't even know if he's my friend.
Getting
And you
the
just
grace.
feel like I just found it so weird. So I feel like having these conversations are very
Yeah,
important because it's nice for people to know that they have options. Like things are not necessarily supposed to be followed like I don't even know how they
yeah,
are being interpreted to
dogmatic.
you.
Yeah,
Like give yourself yeah, just like give yourself like the chance to understand things for
yeah,
yourself and practice it appropriately. But like I know we've been going all serious and all, but I came across a post on X where a babe was talking about how she asked her talking stage for no, she was chatting with her talking stage. So she told the guy that, oh, her battery got spoiled and something. And the guy just said, lol. And he stopped responding. She did not ask him for money to buy a new charger. She just said, my charger got spoiled. And I quoted that tweet and I was saying things like, I feel like this is just patriarchy at work. Like, it just feels like you telling him the problem. You know, people say a lot of things like men are solution oriented. Sometimes a girl telling you a problem does not mean she's expecting you to like find a solution to it. She's expecting you to listen and give her like this emotional support. And if you can solve it financially as well, you can go ahead to solve the problem. So I'm bringing this question here. Like, why do you think men are wired this way? Why do you feel like when someone is telling you something, the next thing you're thinking of is how to be the problem solver? Who made you the problem solver? Like, Jesus Christ is solving all our problems. Why do you feel like you need to carry that burden of just providing solutions when it's financially you're trying to think of money, and when a girl is telling you something like innocently, you just think she's asking you for money? Yeah.
Well,
I think
okay. I'll go first.
okay. I think this one I learned it by experience. Yeah. So most times when my baby says, "Oh, like, oh, she's having stomach," pain," I'm like, "Oh, sorry, go and take Miss Mark. Oh, she you go to the hospital," and it's always feels like like sometimes you don't have to show the emotional part. Like it's not you asking for the solution. Yeah. So about the Twitter one, I think I saw it too, and there were two sides to it. Some were like, oh, most time when Nigerian babes say something like this, they're trying to bill you, and then the other were like you just having empathy. Oh, like not everybody is trying to be you. What me I was saying in this situation is like you know your partner, do you get? And everybody should like for example now if my partner says this, I can to a level of accuracy know what it means. Do you get? Like some words are not even supposed to be
Mhm.
said freely before like I grab. So yeah, I guess.
In this particular case, though, they're like she said, talking stage. So it's not like partner. Like they
Oh,
don't
okay.
really know each other that well. But like, why is this first instinct like she's trying to build me? I don't know. I find it very weird. Is
See,
it because I'm not a
see.
girl? Is it because I'm
This
not
is
a
what
guy?
happened. See, there are currently some being in my DM. Most time when someone tell you like problem, you don't say, man, I do not like because you know that when you ask too much question, at the point you have to do TF. You have to transfer. So I think it's an economical reaction for being a Nigerian. I don't know if
And I can't.
too much time if I go the ask say yeah sorry or anyway. How many does ghost out? You know this I think it's the country everybody just being a lot I don't know, you're not necessarily dodgy and like I, I don't know.
I
That's what I
think
just think.
Joe, what do
before
you?
if I answer the question, there was this tweet I saw a couple days ago, right? Where I think
Mm-hmm.
the guy no, it was a lady. She was complaining about her guy in that sense, and then another lady now quoted that tweet with a screenshot of calendar. So I didn't get it, so I had to go into the comments.
Uh,
So apparently she was so when I now went
I'm
down, so
lost.
now like people, so people now say, oh, later she now replied to someone that was asking, okay, what do you mean? I'm not getting this. And she was like, when you see babes complain like this, just know that rent is closed. So her rent is due, so
I,
she's not getting the receptions she wants from her man. So but then that's on a partner level. Now on a talking stage, right? The question
Mm-hmm.
you asked, I feel it's just based on number one, the intention of that guy and then the intention of the lady. For me, right,
Mm-hmm.
someone I'm in a talking stage with comes to me with that kind of problem, I don't think I automatically deem it as billing because there was recently someone I was talking to and she was complaining that her phone was bad. Right. I didn't immediately spring up and say I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to buy a phone, obviously. I'm not going to do that. It's talking stage. I'm not going to be that dumb. There has to be some level of commitment before I can start committing my finances to you. You get my point? So
Yes.
so I think is obviously I can see why that guy is thinking like that. I feel obviously we don't know the kind of dynamics both of them have for the guy to have reacted that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I can probably understand why he would react that way. You know, he could also be a playboy that doesn't want to be played, and they could be playing games. And recently the dating pool is a mess. People are just playing games up and down, and
Oh
they're
my
keeping
god,
score and trying
yeah.
to make scores. And so yeah, it's depending on the dynamic between both of them. But naturally, I don't think I would spring up to solve, that kind of solution or that kind of problem. I mean, but I would just be empathetic. I'll just show empathy, and that'll be it. Because it's
Yeah, I think that's the right thing. But I was going through the comment section, and in fact, even the quote I made, somebody responded to it, and the guy was like, "Oh, you can't blame guys for like ghosting or saying lol because they've seen things like most times when you don't give the girl like when you don't provide that financial support at that point, then the girl start giving you like she'll start giving you
attitude. Yeah.
attitude and stuff. Yeah, but I just feel you should not generalize. Like, yeah, like don't generalize. Do you guys have like a crazy billing story? Probably from anybody.
You like are talking. One of them like now.
Everybody is being
Check your
billed right
WhatsApp.
now.
Your first 10 chats, billing dey there.
I think
They're not
Yeah,
like
it's
going to be
crazy.
from the opposite gender. Yeah,
exactly.
nobody will be. It's Nigeria and the economy is bad. Nobody will be you.
And the thing is, when it comes to billing, at the end of the day, I think it's even all about class. It's not really about like gender. People will bill you once they perceive,
Yeah.
like when they see that when they think you have wealth, like you have money or something.
Yeah.
Not really like they don't care about your
Yeah.
gender,
God
whether
will
you're a
help
man or
you.
a
You will
woman.
post one Sunday picture
Exactly.
or one after work picture.
And you're looking fly.
Boss, long time.
Ah,
Long time. So that long time, you could
yeah,
just reply like after like 6 hours. Ah, yeah, thank you, my brother. Oh, thank you, my sister.
And you look up. You look up. Oh.
Like
you
I
guys, you
said,
guys have
Ah.
experience. I was talking to my mom recently. She was just telling me how somebody came to her at work and the person was like, that she wants to talk to her about a problem. Can she talk to her? Mom says she should not
Mm-hmm.
talk to her. And the mom was like, don't you want to hear what's wrong with me? My mom
Ah.
said, I can't provide the solution. I don't want to know. And I was like, that's cold.
Eh?
oh yeah, now.
Eh?
Be
I
hot
don't want
now.
to
Mm-hmm.
know.
Be hot.
Go hot now. You go know.
When it comes to meeting with problem, it's just always leading back to financial
See,
help
the thing
and
is
all.
that
I feel like we
we all know that like this person is passing through a problem. I wish I can show empathy. But then
mhm.
now your account will show the empathy. Like you have to put yourself first. Because how many
exactly.
people you want to show empathy
Well,
for?
you do.
Do you get if you're not careful,
Yeah.
they will show empathy to you too. Someone to do you get like you just have to balance like fine, like it's not as if you are not a big of an gun or like you are being unnecessarily
Mhm.
stingy. Do you get of course like but then it does I don't know.
I feel in this day and
Well,
age, you must know how to choose yourself. You know, prioritize yourself.
yeah, sure.
Because I
Yeah.
think people are just out there to take advantage and then just be what's the word? Not being considerate. Yeah, that's the word. They're not being. They're just looking. They're
Yeah,
just being
yeah.
selfish.
People are not being
Yeah,
considerate.
there was one that said
Yeah,
that
people are not being
she's looking for money. She came to me that she's looking for money to feed her chickens. I was like, okay, are you actually being for the chickens? Even me, you know how much I go buy yam few days
Nah,
ago.
guy, nah,
Then I
nah
come
you
buy
investment
get
now.
farm.
Nah
and
investment.
just to feed her
Feed
You
chicken
get
chicken.
to buy
no,
to
that's
collect chicken.
insane.
So people are just
That's
insane.
insane.
See, you see
There
some
was one
ridiculous
that
billing though.
it was like
I think you should have an episode on billing.
I'll have a different episode of that. Yeah, on that. I feel like there's a lot to talk about when it comes to billing.
Ah,
But yeah, talking about patriarchy, let's go back. I think we've spoken a lot about the provision aspect of things, but there's also a part of being the protector. So do you think both of you, yeah, do you think you're inherently like a protector? Because I've had cases of seeing some things that scare me, and my partner is also equally afraid and is also like equally running away from the same things that scare me. And I'm like, who is supposed to protect the family? So like and I know that we're all trying to debunk this thing or debunk like oh men being placed in a particular like this thing. But the thing is we've also grown in a society like a traditional society where we've been trained and we've been made to know that oh okay man is supposed to do this, a woman is supposed to do this. So growing up and realizing that okay, maybe not all men are protectors in quotes. Like they'll try to protect you, but they are only humans. You are running away from a snake, then you go and call a guy to kill the snake because you believe that, I don't know, he's a man and he's supposed to be stronger than you are. But like I've been doing a lot of unlearning in trying to realize that like a man is also just a human being. So with you guys too, have you had cases of people like pushing you to the front of like facing something you are not prepared for because they just believe it's a role you're supposed to take up as a man?
let me for this now because the protection you are mentioning snake. I know.
I'm
Why are you
robber.
taking all this big animal? Is that
You know, mention cockroach.
I'm a pharmacist. If you need protection against disease, yes, reach out to me. What snakes? Then I have to catch snake in this. I'm
Oh my
number.
god.
Become like let's call police.
Uh,
Not me. Yeah, yeah.
me that when they
Okay,
when
but
they came
then
to rob
I
us,
feel
I was so the house I was staying at that time. It was very large. It had like
Mhm,
two parlors. That's how big the house is. So I was
mhm.
at the extreme end, and I was just there, and I was listening to all the reasons with my dad, my mom, my brother. And so I'm sorry, I'm not a protector. When it comes to such scenario, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
let me add to it. Joshua said he slept off.
I slept off. Who? Ah. So I
Then
don't.
they rob them.
Just like you
Go
said,
sleep.
we are humans, and we all have different ways by which we've been built. So some there are some men that have been
Mhm.
built, or they actually have that instinct. No, when it comes to such scenarios like snakes and whatnot, I'm sorry for me. It's flee first, act later.
Even fighting. Would you beat somebody for
I
your
can't
partner?
fight.
Dep- Depend on who the person is.
I don't.
If I can handle the person. No, no. The thing is that all this we are saying, it doesn't mean like you take a disrespect when it's
Yeah,
past towards your
No, no,
partner.
no. Of course,
Do you
of
get?
course, of
But
course.
that snake partner, I beg, hold your slipper, let's run.
exactly. Let's
Or
run.
start the key. Let's move.
The things they preach
Let's call a
online
snake
these days,
There's
exterminator.
snake
you hear
here.
things like,
Funny enough, growing up, my sister, Anthony, she's gonna accuse rat and everything at home. When I say, Anthony, is here. Yeah, my Anthony deals with the rats. Then I think I've seen snake once in our compound, and we have to call the RBG. And my dad was at home too. But my dad cannot kill snake, obviously. But the RBG has killed like three snakes that we know do get, especially like the snake catcher. Do you get so
yeah,
RBG came and
yeah,
she killed the snake, yeah. So
Yeah.
RBG came and killed
yeah.
the snake, yeah.
I like the examples you gave. Auntie Oyin, Iyabeji, two women taking up these roles that are
That why I
seen as
mentioned it, yeah.
traditionally, yeah, male roles. So I think important for us to know that gender division sometimes does harm when you just like train people to pick up roles in the society because they are supposed to, not because they want to. Calling a guy to kill something because he's supposed to, not because he's interested in doing that. And I feel like when we're talking about patriarchy and trying to like rewrite the narrative surrounding patriarchy. It's just about us like letting male children know that it's okay for them to cry. It's okay for you to like what you like. It's okay for you to play do play with cooking utensils. You don't have to play with guns because you're a guy growing up, or you don't have to like color blue. And that brings me to like talking about men and being connected to their emotions. Are you guys comfortable with being vulnerable? Are you guys like when was the last time you cried? Do you even cry?
Yeah, we
And
do. I think when it comes to vulnerability and showing emotions, crying now in this particular instance, I think men are taught to do otherwise. That is not to show emotion, not to cry. I think a typical example was when my dad died, and so we went to this town hall, right? Because my dad was a very notable person in the community that I. So the association, as it were, we're now holding like a so let's say memorial, right, in his place, right, and then we were invited. So I went there, and I think that was the period my uncles and aunties came from Abuja, right. So and obviously with the outpour of emotions and people saying all the good stuff that people do during funerals and whatnot. So I just started crying. And my auntie was like, "Don't cry, don't cry. Get into the car. Don't cry. Don't let them see you cry. Don't cry." And I just had to, comfort, composure, that kind of stuff. So I think that's an instance where you see, and it's just an ideology. And I think just an inherent mindset, basically, that men are not social emotions. And obviously, I think it's okay to cry, right? It's okay to be vulnerable. But I feel I'll only be more comfortable doing that obviously when it's with maybe family or my partner in this instance. So I think I don't think is doing too much or what's the word now? When it comes to you and your partner, it's okay to show emotion. And that's one of the ways you can even keep the flame going, right? And for me, I'll be very much vulnerable, regardless of what the society teaches, right? When it comes, and even my very close friends, I'm talking female friends that I'm very vulnerable to them, or even tell them that, oh, I don't have money, because that's another area that men are not supposed to show
Yeah.
lack of financial capacity in that sense. But when it
Yeah.
comes to people that are actually close to me, and I'm talking the opposite gender now, I do let them know that, see, this is what I'm going through. I don't have money at this period. So when it comes to being vulnerable to the other gender, as long as you are close to me, yeah, I think I can let you see that part of it. But if you are not, I would, just comport and composure, lads,
Yeah. Composure
exactly.
100. uh,
Yeah. So for me now, I'll
Wait, oh no,
mention like
I was looking seeing you cry.
yeah, I think
you did
once. I
that
think once, just
pastor
once actually.
that pastor stuff guy.
Fiola.
Hey, that pastor stuff.
Like that was, I think that's been the only that's the only time.
Nah,
Literally, that's the only time.
nah.
No, no, no. But you can
So
see me cry countless times. Like every
yeah.
time I'm just crying.
No, the thing is, for the stuff, you have to teach males that
Yeah.
they
So
can be vulnerable to their emotions too. You get, you can cry and everything, and like this can just be you,
Mm.
yeah. But like I want to give an example now. Like I think there was a time I made a purchase and like I made a good loss.
yeah,
So I made the purchase and like I had to like buy a new engine, a new gear, literally almost everything in the car because I did not make some due diligence. And my dad used to tell me that open the in here, like oh like I was like you don't have to like pass through difficult time to no, I don't like hearing that word. Like kind of like sorry to like sorry is to don't say really sorry, do you get I don't know. That's just me, do you
yeah,
get? So
Mm-hmm.
I think men are not taught to handle the emotion quite well. Specifically, yeah. I think a guy should be vulnerable at two. I think most of the issue with vulnerability, especially coming from men, is that oh like oh I don't want this babe to see me or at least from what I read on Twitter, they don't want maybe it to be used against them in future. Someone like oh bottle up chest time, do you get like you are only
Mm-hmm.
for yourself and stuff like that, which is a wrong way to go about life. Not even like literally like to go about life because when you share emotion, when you speak up, that's when you get relieved and you get help. You get so if crying works for you, by all means, do that. You get. I think I did say have I cried? Oh, I did. Yes.
You cried when?
Not like cry, but like now when something my own is to come like a sharp emotion, like it come like that, like 5 minutes, then it all okay. We move.
But I was going to say, you spoke about like people saying, "Oh, maybe a woman will use their vulnerability against them in the future."
Yeah,
So, do
people
you
say
think
that a
women
lot.
make it hard for men to be vulnerable? Do you think
See,
it's the women that make it hard?
the thing, I don't want to put it in men, women type of dynamics. I think it does you and your partner. Like, I know my partner will not do you get.
yeah,
Um, it can be from a guy's perspective. In fact, guy to guy, you can be vulnerable to someone that will end up shanking you. Do you get? So it's not. I don't think it's a gender thing. Do you get? So I think it's more of your partner and how you guys relate. Do you get? So like I think vulnerability is a kind of like a crucial stuff for relationship building. You get like you should be able to oh I'm passing through this thing like I don't know what's happening. Do you get? Me personally I learnt it by experience. Do you get? It's not something I do usually. Like I'm someone like in the bus I don't talk like let's say I'm in the bus with my partner like we are here with you. That's
I
that's
don't think
it.
they say you should save me. They say you should save me.
I'm going to be official now.
Yes, I didn't say you should come. I didn't say you should save me. Just save me with my partner. It's cool.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. So, like, if you try to say, oh, stuff like, oh, they have like, the post now, like, don't say stuff. Like, I'm kind of like closed up. Do you get that? And later, I also open up to people. Like, much later, I think during my university days, you get like, I learned how to share more. Because usually, like the thing about like painting up all this type of emotions, information in yourself is that if you're not careful, you end up making the wrong decision most of the time, and you secondly you lack accountability too because nobody's checking you. And as woman, you should have a checkmate. You should have someone checking you. So yeah, I think the danger of not opening it up is number one, you lack that check. And number two, you just build up. Oh, it's unnecessary. Then it comes up, you end up being depressed, you end up being probably having social anxiety, you end up, and then it comes with a mix of stuff.
Thank you for that, like your response, Olu. And there's something you said that I would actually like to talk more about or talk more on. But before then, like, do you think women make it hard, like, for men to be vulnerable, or they actually aid vulnerability in men?
I think in the grand scheme of things, right? Because I love how Olu brings it home to just the people you have relationship with, right? In the grand scheme of things, basically the dating pool or just the way the society is currently, I would say yes. And we've seen several instances where people kind of shame men for doing that. There are several instances out there. So I was saying the grand scheme of things, yes. But again, grand scheme of things on social media is not real life, as people say. So and that's why you just need to understand the people who are your people, you know, having the people that are your core people in that sense. And for those kind of people, I think if you actually see them as your people, you would be vulnerable to them. You would definitely open up to them when
Open
things
up.
get tough. So regardless of gender or genders now, even if it's a woman, like I said earlier, my friends that I'm very close with, I tell them, I'm always very vulnerable to them, right? And family as well, I'm always very vulnerable to them. Not all the time though, because sometimes you just want to figure things out yourself. You
Yeah,
tell them after
yeah.
you figured it out. Okay, 2 weeks ago I was not fine, no, but alhamdulillah, we thank God. Things are fine now. So usually, I think another way men do it is they tell them after the fact. And my brother even does that. Even to me personally, my brother does that. Not so it's not only a gender thing now. Joshua does that very well. It's after the fact he'll come and tell me that especially when we're not together, when we're far apart. It's always when the thing has happened. I think there was an instance where he
Very
was having
well.
he was having issues with a course, right? And it was after the fact I was like, bro, why didn't you tell me? Or there was also a time that he was short of funds, and I was like, why didn't you tell me? So easy. So I think men are just built to, and that's where the concept of unlearning and relearning, comes into
Yeah.
place, and it shouldn't be, because at the end of the day, we're all human, and you shouldn't be made to carry that burden, that pressure, because it's a whole lot to take in.
Yeah, it's a whole lot to take in. And I like the way you guys made mention too of like guys be finding it difficult to be vulnerable to each other. So I want to ask you people, have you seen each other cry before?
Thing about crying is like for me, it has to be like
Okay, have you seen Joel down before? Like, as Joel comes to you, like, I'm going through this, I need emotional support, or and you not banter him in return. Because I feel if he comes to you, you are going to banter. Like, I don't
No,
know.
no, no,
the thing
no,
is we won't, and I think
no, no, no,
that also
no.
boils down to it
No.
also boils down to the dynamic of the relationship between you and your guy. For someone like Olu, he has seen me down. When I lost my dad, there was one time that I was sick. I had to call him. It was one that drove me to the hospital. And that's THC now, not even health center. And that's a longer distance. So it also boils down to who you call your person. And I always come back to that fact. You need to have core people
Oh,
that you can trust with such
yeah.
vulnerable
Very
circumstances.
Strong,
important.
strong male
Yeah.
friendship. Yeah, strong male friendship. Yeah.
What is this?
Guy,
What
guy.
what is supposed to be?
Okay, so like just two more questions before we round things up. One is, have you benefited from patriarchy?
I don't think I have. That's what I'm saying. The kind of dynamic and setting I kind of grew up and I found myself in. I don't think I've been in a place where I was taken more serious than the opposite gender, because I'm just a man. I don't think I've not benefiting. I've been on the other unfair end of it. Yeah,
And
that's what I would say.
How about you? Oh,
I do not think so. To be candid, have I? I'm trying to like take a moment of to think. Yeah, not.
like special treatment because you're a
For we when you
boy,
want to
a
what?
man.
No, I
The
want to
generation we
surprise
grew
asking
up
that
in,
question.
I don't think so.
It's the other way around. Face card advantage where carry your face one go enter party where you no get money or be ticket. They go bounce you come out. It's the other way. I think it's more of the negative and the unfair advantage that we
No,
suffer.
no, the positive, like the positive aspects here are kind of maybe sometimes subtle, like maybe you're not doing house chores at home, you have your sisters taking care
Okay.
of you, maybe you're not cooking, you are enjoying that, or let me
No, no, I
see.
think that
You're not being,
I
your
know where
parents
I
did not
go is.
protect you. No, maybe your friends were not like so protective. Like they gave you free hand. You could go to your friend's place. You could spend the night out, and you just got your freedom. Like you express things differently from your like sisters or from your female friends that you see. Just something like that. It's always in the very very little nuances.
Okay, I don't cook.
About being put.
I
Okay.
don't cook, but Joshua cooks. So and he
Oh,
didn't
okay.
get to benefit or maybe because of Joyce. And also because we're in boarding school, so usually whoever's at home at that period, I guess to all those. But I get your point
Mm,
because I do the,
mm,
when we still used to live together in Yara when it was all of
mm-hmm,
us, I do the so it was always split. I handle cleaning the sitting room. Joshua does the poultry work. Then Joyce does the kitchen stuff. So it was
mm,
usually split. It wasn't because okay, because we're guys, she will not do the entire thing. So that's what I'm saying. It depends on
mm,
on the kind of family you grew up and the setting. If your I
mm.
think if your parents have that kind of mindset and ideology, it to be transferred to how things play out generally within siblings. That's what I would say.
Well, well, that's true.
Maybe like I've enjoyed last one privilege. Yeah, but I don't think it's because I am a guy. To get like the only
Okay,
child.
yeah,
I'll be
different. Last
only
one.
male child. So I think it's more of a last one thing for me. And stuff
Mm,
like I think I can do almost all the chore like my sister does. You get like my sister does almost all the chores I can do. You get so basically. So I don't think it's kind of the chores dynamic. Okay. I used to do the more hard labor stuff like wash the tank. You get
Yeah.
so I think maybe that's the few difference. But sweep, wash plate, you wash your plate, you wash the plate you use, sweep. And about societal, or let's say, I don't think I particularly that I remember at least gotten an unfair advantage because I am a guy. Uh, I'm trying to think about it.
yeah.
I don't think not
Well,
of recent memories.
yeah, so well, thank you so much, Joel, and thank you, Olumide, for like being on today's episode. I mean, we've gone through a lot to be here and to like have this episode recorded. So just before we finally call it an episode, I want you to share one thing you're learning as a man, just one thing, and answer the question after sharing it. Is patriarchy a burden on men or no? So like you share one thing you're learning and answer the question like, oh yes, it is or no, it's not. And yeah, just that. And
Okay.
Olu, you can go first. Then
Yeah, for
Joe.
the obvious reason. So yeah, so basically, this thing about I want to start with this thing about equality, equity is that you can't cherry pick it. Yeah, you can't say, oh, you are more of you want an equal word for a migrant or where migrant and do stuff really. You can't say you want an equal word for humanity. I are cherry picking when it comes to female rights, when it comes to the rights of other people. We can't cherry pick it. I think that is one thing about stop stand for a principle. Are you standing for equity or not? If you are, then apply it all equally. You can't pick that I'm for equality for this, but for this one, no, no. That's that. Then all the stuff I'm unlearning.
I think what I'm unlearning is you don't is not being a sole provider. As the
Mm,
firstborn, I've had the privilege, and also the burden, they come hand in hand to be the sole provider, and I've seen the toll it takes on you as a person. And when it comes to patriarchy, I think I learned just thinking about it. I think I learned well from the dynamics between my parents, and I'm just grateful to them because you know. my mom had a poultry, you know,
Mm-hmm.
when back in the village, and you see both of them waking up because my dad was a principal, my mom was a teacher. So they wake up as early as 5, both of them. Is that my dad will take both the lamp and the food, then my mom will be doing the filling the water trough for the chickens. So you see both of them doing the same thing. Then for our last born, who was in primary school at the time, it's either my mom is doing cooking and preparing food that everybody and also the last one will take to school. Then my dad will be trying to make sure that the last one goes to take his bath and then is on time. So you see that split responsibility. So I've had
Mm-hmm.
that good perspective, right, on how things and should be done, and away from the usual
Mm-hmm.
norm. So, and what I would say when it comes to online, and why I did say that one of the things I'm on learning is being a sole provider, is because in an instance where there's the loss of that provider, things just,
Mm-hmm.
you know, literally,
Yeah.
and you do, and that's why I've told myself I'm not going to be in partnership, or I'm not going to have a partner that sees me as a sole provider, or that wants to be a full-time housewife. I'm not going to. No, you have to be ambitious. I'm not against, and I think one of the things people say about patriarchy is when the man doesn't want his woman to be ambitious. He wants the woman
Mm-hmm.
to always be at home. I'm not that kind of person, and I don't think because when you're doing that, you're also setting yourself up for trouble, because when things go bad, let's say you lose your job, the entire family is affected, right? And that's one of the things
Mm-hmm.
I'm on learning, and I've seen that firsthand with my uncle, who he lost his job, and then everybody was struggling from him down to his children. So I don't think on
Mm-hmm.
learning not being a supervisor, that would be the, and is patriarchy a burden? 100% yes, it is.
Okay. So Olu,
Okay.
what are you on
How did
learning?
you leave straight face? Like, you just went from smiling like, oh, yeah, Olu.
I'm,
Come on,
I'm
smile to me too now. Not that is how you smile.
good.
Hey, hey, now you're talking. So yeah, I'm learning how not to put an unnecessary burden on yourself. So usually, like, I used to be, I have to do this, I have to make sure I do this, do.
So thank you guys for coming on today's episode. Hi, I'm Joel and Ulu. Thanks for sharing your perspective on patriarchy and just talking us through your experiences as men in the Nigerian society. So yeah, I think that will be all. So thank you so much. And Joel, just help me tell them to subscribe. But let's call it a day. Please
Please
share.
subscribe to the YouTube channel, like, and also drop your comments. We'd love to hear what you think. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thanks
we'd
for
love to
having me.
hear what you think. Yeah, thank you so much for coming. And if you're listening on Spotify, don't forget to follow the channel because and rate the podcast. Give us only 5-star rating because anything less than that is bad. 5-star, so that our podcast will pop up for other people too that are willing to discuss and talk about the complications of adults. And bye, and see you guys on the next episode. Bye bye.